They say small business is the backbone of America. So what's the best way to support a small business? It is to learn more about them and share with your family and friends. We interview founders from across the world who have started and scaled their business through the ups and downs, long hours, and the rewards that come from sacrificing their time to build their business. Welcome to First to Arrive, Last to Leave, the journey of an entrepreneur.
All right, welcome to another episode of First to Arrive, Last to Leave. Today we have another very special guest, Daris Frencha, the president and CEO of the Benefits Boutique. Daris, welcome.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. This is exciting.
I know. It's another great connection we've made through a fellow 10K Aspire. Surprise, yes. Surprise. Yes. But before we jump in, Daris, tell us a little bit about your company and the Benefit Boutique and what you do.
Absolutely. Yes. The Benefit Boutique is a full-service employee benefits brokerage. And we do focus on small businesses that have between 2 and 50 employees because they need easier and more accessible and more affordable options. It's so important these days. Candidates still make a decision based on the employee benefits, and small businesses don't have a big budget like the big companies. So we have to be creative and work with carriers that are give more access and make things easier and more affordable for the small business, so they can be competitive too to get good talent and to keep good talent.
Yeah.
So we're woman certified. I want to throw that in there too.
Yes.
Officially woman certified.
That's great. That's great. So what kind of options are there out there for that small business that maybe I can't afford a full package for my employees, but I want to be able to offer something?
Oh, that's a great question, because that's exactly what we specialize in. So you may or may not know, Erin, that they're usually traditionally in the employee benefits industry, the carriers want a minimum participation because that's how they make their money. They're like, look, we need at least 50% or 30% or something. It varies per carrier if you're going to offer this. But if you're a small firm with, let's just say 15, easy number, 15 employees, and half of your employees don't want dental, then the dental carriers traditionally will say, well, you can't offer dental. So that takes that option away. Our carriers that we work with have 0 participation requirements. So that means we can have them beef up their ancillary coverage. And ancillary coverage is dental, vision, short-term disability, life, telemedicine, even legal and identity theft. They can get up to 9 robust benefits, and that looks good on your benefits page, come work with us page. So a smaller company can start there, and the minimum employer contribution, sometimes we can make that down to 0. So just imagine a small company being able to offer 9 benefits, ancillary benefits, 0 cost out of pocket because the employees will pay for it. And then bam, you have something to offer. Now, that could be the first step. The second step, or sometimes it's the first step, is being able to offer medical. And so we have creative new ways, not us, the Benefit Boutique, but carriers are getting much more small business friendly because they want to get those clients too. So if you think about it, small businesses make up what? As we know, the majority of all of the businesses in our economy. So we've got different ways where we can look and quote health insurance based on the actual health of the group. And so I try to make insurance not all blah, blah, blah. I try to make it simple, right? So think about it like this. If you go to a regular carrier, they're looking at your age and your zip code. What if you live in a zip code that has had higher claims and higher and more sick people? You, the healthier person, still got to carry the weight for all of those sick people in your zip code. But we have some carriers that'll look at the true health of your group. And that means they'll be looking at their medical history. And if you have a relatively healthier group, you can save 30 to 40%. So those are the 2 main things. Maybe we can start you with ancillary and not have a lot of, and have a very down to 0 come out of pocket. Or maybe you can start with your medical and then grow into the ancillary. So it's different options. Relaxed for the smaller employer.
Yeah.
Well, it's so cool too, because when did it when do you think that this shift changed where the insurance companies were like, well, we probably should focus on small business? Because I know in the last couple of years, like we've wanted to offer those things, but to our employees, but that's just wasn't an option. So when did that transition see?
Like ACA, or some people finally call it Obamacare, when those laws came in place and they're like, you got to offer it or you got penalties and things like that, the ancillary companies were like, hey, it's already hard and expensive for them. So only a few, actually. And it's not a lot. This is revolutionary or disruptive that the ancillary companies are saying, wait, we'll be out of business. If all the companies have to offer medical, there's no way they're going to come to us. So they got smart because they want to stay in business. I think the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I would hope also just out of doing the right thing and being more helpful, right? Because they control it. They can make it easier and more affordable. So they do.
Yeah, we don't even have to go down that rabbit hole. But I would love to know, though, how did you get into this? And then where was that point where you were like, I want to go out on my own and start my own business?
Oh, goodness. Yes. So my background, I started in the ancillary only division, offering two benefits: legal protection and identity theft protection by a company called Legal Shield.
Mm-hmm.
And I got started with that because I was so upset with my previous employer. I was going to go out and I'm going to build my own business. And I just tried it like on the side. Like, if he can be own a business and successful and he's not even that smart, what can I do?
We've all said that, yeah.
And it was a blessing in disguise. Just in case he sees this, it was a blessing in disguise. And I thank you for the experience at your company.
Yeah.
But it pushed me out to try something on my own, on the side. And actually, I replaced my income in like 3 years, doing it part-time, doing the side hustle come out. And so that gave me even more encouragement. So a couple years later, I started making out 6 figures, made my first 6 figures on my own by myself from the ground up. And then my clients were asking for more benefits. And at first I was referring it out. I kind of got comfortable a little bit, didn't want to learn new stuff. And then let's fast forward a little bit more COVID, So between my clients wanting more and then COVID with me just internally reevaluating my whole life, that's why I bring up COVID. Like when you have that time to say, well, okay, what do I want to be? What's my purpose? What's going on? I realized that I'm doing a disjustice to my clients by referring them out and not being that one-stop shop for them. And I'm doing my bottom line some disjustice too. Okay.
Yeah.
At first I was like, I'm a connector. I can find somebody to do everything that you need. But after reevaluating everything, like I said, let's go for it. Let's put the big girl panties on. And that's when I rebranded. So that was about 2.5, 3 years ago. So went out, started learning everything, rebranded to the Benefit Boutique. I had these visions and ideas of a woman-owned insurance company. Because no offense, but when you think about insurance, you usually think of some old white dude with gray hair and a gray suit, and he's like deductibles and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, why don't we do the exact opposite and make benefits fun and sexy and more affordable and effective? And so then, I know it's a long answer.
No,
but as I was envisioning all of this, then I got introduced to these types of carriers that are more focused on the small business. So, when you have those, y'all know as small business, when you're praying and envisioning stuff, then it's like the universe brings it to you. God brings it to you. And voila, the Benefit Boutique was born. And then I got to 10KSB because I was like, there's going to be someday I want to go on vacation for a month and my business. So now we're still growing. My point of bringing that up, I'm still, evolving, I think, as a small business owner so that I can get to that point. That's my next big goal, to be able to walk away and, your business might be able to grow while you're on vacation. It should be.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, I think first of all, I love the branding and I love the name. And then, of course, now meeting you, I'm like, wow, that's like a major package, because that's who you want to work with. You want to work with someone who's exciting and excited to talk about things that might otherwise be viewed as scary or maybe boring. But I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. How fun to be able to work with you, because if something happens, you want to call someone who's going to bring light to the day, because that's what you know. So I'm curious, what was the entry point into Goldman? Like, what's part of your growth strategy?
So part of my growth strategy is to get more employees to grow and scale, right, in the next 3 years, so that I'm not carrying all the weight. I still feel like I carry all the weight. And that was just who I was before Goldman Sachs. Still had these control issues, like, I can do it all. And no, that was a big epiphany in Goldman. So the goal is, I don't know if y'all can see, this is my goal, 1 million bottom line.
I love it.
I hope that doesn't fall out. And in 3 years, employing at least 10 staff members. And my personal goal is I would love for me to have an all-woman staff. And I know I learned in Goldman Sachs that's a little illegal. You shouldn't say that. But the goal for that, my vision for that, is that I want to teach other women how to make a 6-figure income, teach them financial freedom through sales in this traditionally male-dominated industry. I want us to come in like, what?
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it, helping others, because I left my W-2 and to be able to create my own income from my work, the same work. Now, some people might say it's hard, but the hard is relative, I believe, right? And it got hard for me to be in sales for somebody else and continuing to make it rain for them and their family. And I feel like I was putting in the same, I did put in the same work ethic and passion. Now, as a business owner, y'all know I put in a whole bunch more hours on the weekends and the evenings. But I'd rather do that to create something from scratch for my family, for legacy, and to be an example that it really is possible. This is the only place in the world I would ever want to live. Your dreams, we do have the right to pursue happiness.
I love it. So, how has your, kind of walk us through how you run your business, or how you have been running your business, versus what you're looking at changing and transforming in order to be able to create that model where you've got that staff underneath you. Like, where have you had to focus in your business to do that?
Yeah, so we are in sales, right? But basically, at the end of the day, we smiling and down and making phone calls. What I've changed drastically is becoming partners with chambers and associations. And we position these better carriers as a member benefit to the association or the chamber. So when I go on the chamber, I'm going in to say, hey, how is retention, recruiting, and retaining members, right? Because if you think about it, if y'all were networkers, chambers have a big challenge in demonstrating quantitatively the ROI on why you should be a member of my chamber. But when I go in and I partner with that chamber, I say, well, hey, what if we were able to help your small businesses have an easier and more affordable way to attract and retain talent, by giving everything I was telling y'all earlier, by relaxing those participation minimums, and we can put this as a member benefit. So to help you attract and retain members, and to help them attract and retain talent. And so from a sales perspective, it's much easier, way much easier than cold calling. Because if you're a member of Denton Chamber and I say, hey, Erin, the chamber wanted me to reach out to you to let you know that you've got some amazing benefits as a part of your membership that will help you attract and retain talent. Want to jump on a call?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a great one-to-many model.
Absolutely. And so that has condensed the sales cycle drastically. And even if they are a company that does have medical already in place, we can just say, hey, what does your ancillary look like? And then we don't have to wait till open enrollment, which could be 9 months later, to roll that out. So it's just suppressing my sales cycle by getting more leads in the pipeline and being able to close faster. Because that is a challenge in the benefits industry. Companies that do have their medical in place already, they can switch and they can change. But when they get like over 20, 30, closer to the 50, they're like, I don't want to talk about that until open enrollment.
Yeah.
So then I might call in June and you just had open enrollment in May. But I can still keep that pipeline full, like I say, and still close faster.
I love that. And so you got the association side too, in addition to the chamber, and same type of model?
Same type of model. Because especially, it's just really hard to literally quantify your return on investment. If you're like me, I've never been that person, because even before this program, when I was part of any association or things like that, you do have to work it. You do have to go to your networking events. You do got to forge those relationships and hopefully to convert them into business. But you still have I feel like from a sales perspective, sometimes a lot of companies may join a chamber or an association and think they're going to start getting inbound sales calls, and they're not leveraging their membership. So, and then the chamber gets the bad rep. Well, I joined the chamber, and I didn't really get anything out of it. But we can help them say, at least you got benefits. And I love that, because my clients do say, and I give all of the credit to the chamber. Aren't you so glad you have this membership? This would be much easier if you were going the traditional route, or much more affordable if you were going the traditional route. And you wouldn't get me. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So let me ask you though this, because that's Courtney nailed it too. There's a magic about you. There's a personality about you. So as you're training your staff to be you, right? So you can multiply and grow and make these calls and connect. Mm-hmm. How are you maintaining within that part of, how are you training and keeping that part of you in there?
That essence of you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank y'all so much. I feel like I'm me because I'm authentic and I'm not apologetic about it. So when I am looking to bring on people, they gotta have that. They gotta have a spark. I can't teach that. No, I cannot. And I definitely don't want to bring in someone that's dry, because we're already talking about an industry or a topic that nobody is signing up to say, let's go over our benefits renewal. No. So
I want to know.
Yeah, of course you want to know what they get in the benefit boutique. Absolutely. But in interviewing and prospecting for new candidates, I'm looking for, that's something I can't teach. And if y'all know how to do it, I tell me, please. But I'm looking for someone that's authentic and energetic and passionate, and all the other candidates. But when it comes down, all of the other characteristics or skills. But I am looking at, your energy levels. Mm-hmm. Because I can't teach it. I can be you and be authentically and unapologetically you. And I think that's what is attractive. That's what attracts people. That's the charisma factor.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. It's almost like you need.
I'll keep talking.
That's okay. It's almost like you need entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's that. That energy kind of runs. It's like part of our blood. I would just say.
Yes.
If you think of it as like putting women in business, you want entrepreneurs. You want them to go out there and be self-sufficient, and you're the secret sauce. So you're going to give them all the framework, and that energy is just going to, that would be my suggestion, is to go after those entrepreneurs.
That is very true. I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm looking for that person like me. When I first got started, I wanted the freedom, the flexibility, the ability to make my own income, to set my own hours. But I didn't, at that time when I first got started, I did not want to own a business and be worried about compliance and taxes and HR and things like that. Yeah. So kind of like a hybrid entrepreneurial mindset, but you don't want to be looking at the financials, what the CFO, you just want to go out, hunt, kill, make some money, and live your best life.
I love it.
Because all this other extra stuff is a lot. And I feel like those are my best candidates. They 50-50. They want all that freedom and flexibility and all of that, but they're like, no, miss me with the compliance.
Yeah.
I don't want that part.
Well, and let's talk about that from a perspective of building your company. So, you're working with Legal Shield, which that's like a network marketing, correct?
Well, they had the business solutions division. They had a B2B division. So, yeah, I didn't do the recruiting network marketing side, and I have all respect for it now because I know so many people. I know how hard that is. But I was a network marketing snob, and when I was first introduced to it, I'm like, are you kidding me? And here's the beauty. God, again, divine appointment, universe, whatever you want to call it. They had a big convention here, and I was going to the convention to give my recruiter a hard no. Like, I looked at your little deal. Thank you. No, thank you. And it was a family member too. So I'm like, oh my God. So, but when I got to the convention, in my mind, in my memory, they never told me there was a B2B side.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a B2B salesperson my entire career. So when I got in there and they were like, you can call on small companies and offer legal and identity theft protection as a voluntary benefit. And then they start talking about the service, which I hadn't heard of before, and the compensation, the freedom, all on my own terms without owning a business, just being an independent rep. That's when I was like, well, fine, let me try it.
Yeah.
And so I forgot your question.
Well, I hadn't gotten there yet. That's why you didn't remember it. So the question is, what was that step like going from to your point, you had that perfect model where you didn't have to worry about financials or taxes or anything like that, just your own. Now, as you're stepping into that, I'm going to own my own business and take this over. Can you talk about any obstacles you had to overcome or anything that you had to that really shifted and changed for you in making that big step?
Well, the biggest challenge, I think, was stepping out of my comfort zone because I was good, honestly. And there's this whole entrepreneur thing and, all this vision you get but we could be better. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, I don't know, I think y'all will probably agree. Some days you're like, why I'm doing all this?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I've heard people have that.
Vision. Okay, God. Okay, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to keep going. So, learning the new products and the new services just myself, because I still have the control freak part before I want to bring on people. Fear, I think it was more of some days when that imposter syndrome pops in, because look, y'all, I was at the top of the charts in Legal Shield. I was training. They was flying me out to train other people. They was kissing the ring, and and I'm like, that's it. I'm going to go do something else and start all the way over. So I feel like, to answer your question, finally, sometimes just that on your own internal thoughts or doubt still was my biggest hurdle. And then just instead of just go for it, you got it, questioning I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. And looking back on it, do you still think you were good? Or is it that much better where you're like, I'm so glad I did it?
Absolutely. I am so glad. Because I could have coasted, but that's just not me, obviously, right? I want more. I want more challenge. I want to grow. I want to help more, right? Because that was one of the main catalysts. I'm kind of doing a disjustice to my clients by not giving, by not being their one-stop shop. Mm-hmm. So that in itself was selfish, right? Because I was good. So yes, I love it now. They're like, because you could have different carrier reps, and now it's just one phone call, the Benefit Boutique, and we're handling everything. And you don't have about 4 or 5 different people for medical, for legal, for your, other ancillaries. So absolutely. And the person you become, when you conquer something or you achieve stuff and you look back on it and you can feel so good about yourself. When on the dark days, when you're ready to quit, and you push through that, and you change your own mindset, because they say our biggest enemy is ourselves, and the doubt. Doubt is the best salesperson on the planet. Those seeds of doubt, but overcoming them and then being able to help other people and grow, So, yes, and I don't want to sound cliche, but anything worth fighting for, it's worth it, right? And it's not built overnight, all of those cliches. But the more I stay in business and the older I get, those cliches really mean something.
It's true. Yeah.
They really have some deep thought and some depth to it when you've been through stuff and you came out of stuff.
Yeah.
There's Rihanna has a quote. It's like never, or it's a tattoo. It's like never a failure, always a lesson. And I just think that that's like the coolest thing, because so many people are afraid to fail. And I think you learn from failure. You learn how strong you are, what you, how to do something differently. And so I always try to reframe that word. And that's just one of those things, as you get older, it just becomes more true. I'm curious, when did you graduate from Goldman?
I was cohort 23, so just last June, I think.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Not even a year.
Yeah, you're right behind home.
It's awesome. And then we're like, what was your favorite part of the program? What section was like, and did you have an aha moment?
I think it kind of goes back to what I was just talking about. When you're by yourself, you don't have a network, or you think you're the only person failing. You think you're the only person that has these challenges. You think, oh, why am I being, such a big baby? And then you come in a room of other entrepreneurs in totally different industries, totally different backgrounds, cultures, ages, and they're sitting there too, like, this was hard. So you don't feel alone. That's the best way I can put it. You know that we're in the trenches together. We soldiers, right? And we're champions too.
Yes.
It's not so lonely. It's not as lonely, which is huge. And especially since when I left Legal Shield, I did have that network and support and, my accountability teams and stuff like that. But I lost that too when I left. And so then I was out here by myself, like, what are you doing? Okay, I got it. I love that. Y'all remember that image, or if they used it in yours, where entrepreneurship is like, the
heartbeat.
This is great. Why am I doing this? Today's the best day ever. I'm shutting it down.
I feel like that is like an hourly thing.
Yes.
Because you're like, you could be running and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then like you just get hit by something. You're like, why am I in this business?
Well, and this is TMI, guys, but I don't know, as a woman, do you find like right before that time, like I tell you every time right before the time of where I am ready to shut it down, and I'm like, it's over, I'm shut it down, and then the next day I'm like, okay, I know why I was like that, I'm good. Every time, every month,
well, and I've got that thing where you track it on your phone, and so I get the like it's coming, and I was like, okay, so I have to prepare myself for this attitude that's about to take over for 7 days or whatever it's gonna be, because there's days leading up to it. 100%.
I thought I was the only one, and I talked to another female entrepreneur about it. I'm like, wait a minute, you do that too? Like, I'm ready to blow it up every month. Blow it up.
Right, it's different. That is not the only person doing it.
Yes.
Different issues and emotions and stuff. It feels good. You don't feel like you're crazy.
Yeah, we're still crazy. We're just all crazy. That's the part about it.
Yeah.
We're just all crazy.
It's all.
I know. I went down a rabbit hole, but it's just funny.
So many things there to unpack with that, because it's so true.
It's so true.
And it just because it would. Last week there was like, this is it, I'm done, I need a break, and it's like, you can't. It's like, you don't really need a break. You just need to like rest and maybe close your eyes for a minute.
That's where men have the advantage that we don't. They don't have to go through that every time. Yeah,
they're even keel.
They're even keel. They don't have that week that they're about to just ruin it all, and then we have to overcome that. But anyway.
Well, my husband's my business partner, so by proxy, he thinks the business is going to be blown up during that week too.
He's ready for it. He's ready to mitigate it.
Yeah. Or someone else has to step in and be like,
oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh my goodness, it's funny. Okay, so currently, is it just you, or have you hired people so far?
I have 3 team members.
Awesome.
Yeah, that helps me with the account management, and then a lot of the background stuff with the paperwork and things like that. The stuff I hate, right? And I'm very results oriented, macro level, all of that. Oh, I need people that's no dot the I's and cross the T's for me, because I'm like, no, right?
Yeah. No.
And this is what I'm good at. This part, being around people. If I had to do all that paperwork and follow up with the carriers and stuff like that, I cannot do that. I cannot. And then I have my appointment setter that also calls on the members of the chambers and the associations and things like that. So that's been huge. That's another big part of that has helped us, fill our pipeline, because I was thinking that, I need to do that. And Goldman Sachs helped me with the we factor. Like I'm having someone else call doesn't mean like I'm too busy or I think I'm too great. It could be perceived, and I've trained, and hopefully that's how it's been received. I think so, that we're a big company. We're a bigger company, that is not just me. So that has helped tremendously. The account management and the appointment setter. So I can be the face-to-face and having more speaking opportunities and growing the brand awareness, that part, which I learned from Goldman as well.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Like hiring more people is on the docket, but what else do you have next for the Benefit Boutique?
So right now, our goal is to become one of the top women-owned insurance companies in North Texas. So then I want to take our model to Austin and other major cities in Texas. And by like year 5 to 6, be one of the top women-owned firms in all of the state of Texas. So getting the model right here and getting things in place, documented procedures and all of that stuff, so that it's scalable and duplicatable in other areas.
I love it.
So, I love that. I'm my VP of sales for Austin, VP of sales for Houston, senior vice president, whatever. But yeah, and that allowed me to vacate.
Yeah. Gotta love that vacation, that sit back and dream life.
Yes.
Right, and not worry, because I do vacate, but still, as an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah.
I want that to be like none. So got to get things in place for that. And myself too, still work on myself.
I love it.
And confidence in my team and stuff.
All right. You want to do some rapid fire?
Okay.
All right. Let's go for it.
What's your favorite beverage?
Can I say vodka? Is that okay?
Yeah. You're allowed to say it.
No, it's a fight between coffee and vodka. Yeah,
just depends on the time of day.
Exactly.
Or not that I'm judging it. I would think it depends. But if you have vodka in the morning, that is your thing. I don't judge that at all. You're cool.
The best advice you've ever been given?
I can do anything. My mom told me I can do anything. And I really believe that. And I think that's why my drive is so high. Like I'll get bored fast and be the best you can be, because I can do anything.
Love it.
Awesome. If you could have dinner with anyone.
Okay, I was thinking about that one. And so there was an enslaved African American back before slavery ended, Dred Scott, and he went to the Supreme Court, to plead his case for his freedom. He didn't win, but I just think about the confidence, or maybe he wasn't confident, but the fight and what was in his spirit, where everything around you said that slavery is normal because of your color. How did that one person, and we don't see that in media enough, or in history books enough, we think that everybody was just happy and accepted it and waited for Jesus in the afterlife. We don't see enough of the people that fought, black or white, right, against slavery. But it just seems like such a powerful mind. I think it's the best way I could put it. And vision and boldness to be like, I'm a person and I should be free. In a time, I mean, it might have happened more often. Like I said, we don't know the history. Everything isn't as clear. But our normal envision of how slavery took place was, like I said, everybody was just praying to Jesus the way to get the afterlife. And all the white people were bad. And we know that's not true. So I would just love to pick his brain. And I know you probably wanted me to say somebody that was alive.
No, I love it.
Yeah. But it's visionaries and outliers and people like that inspire me so much. Like, wow, you were brave, thoughtful, forward thinking, and in a time where that was just so not normal. The courage.
Yeah. The will.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept through my mind when you were talking that. I was like, it was like something willed him to do that. Like, it's amazing.
Yes, that. Where does each and every one of our will, where do we get wills? Our will from.
Yeah.
They're independent, beautifully individual person that we've been created to be. We have all these different wills and drives and motivations, and that just seems so heroic to be in that, especially in that time.
Yeah, I love that. Your morning routine.
So I'm a big law of attraction. And so I practice gratitude every morning, almost every morning. Nothing is perfect, right? But when I get out of bed, the first two things, put my feet down, thank you. I woke up this morning. And then I go and I journal the 10 things that I'm the most grateful for. And I started this like years ago. And you would think that it's hard to come up with 10 things sometimes because our mind can be so focused on everything that's going wrong. But in the book I got this from, called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, who also wrote The Secret and the movie and all that stuff. By the time you start your gratitude, your goal is 10, you can end at 20 because you see, and that's how I want to focus on the good stuff, right? And then a little stuff. So she has a practice in there. It's like a 30-day practice where to get you started. But then she says, of course, continue with the practices on your own. But I remember just being grateful for air was one of the practice one days. Like, because we take it for granted, right? And water. And it just makes you think deeper about what's really important and how amazing life is, regardless of all this good, the bad stuff we get to be bombarded with. But take a moment and just be like, I have all the air I need. And that's just not a normal thought, right?
Yeah.
But it gets you puts me in such a place of like abundance in every area. And if I want more and I want this abundance, then be grateful for the little things. Like this morning, I did the morning routine where the morning magic practice, while you're getting ready for work, between the time you get out of bed and you put your clothes on, you're thankful and grateful for everything in between there. So like hot water, right? Toothpaste, the guy that delivered the toothpaste, right? The guy that created the tube for those things that we don't, tissue, right? Plumbing, right? I have this hot water that comes in my house and comes through this beautiful spout, and I can even adjust it if I want it harder or softer. This towel, this cotton that feels good, the soap, the chemist who created that, and the beautiful aroma that it has, and how it makes my skin soft. You can be grateful for thousands of things by the time you put your clothes on.
Yeah, I love that.
And it just changes my energy and my perspective. That I think maybe that's why I'm like, I have great energy and all these wonderful things people tell me, but I think that's a big part of it, being grateful and finding beauty and being amazed at the very smallest things that
Perspective.
we have.
I love that. What are you reading right now?
So this is funny. This is the truth. So I've had a book, Rhonda's other book, The Power, on Kindle for like 3 years. And literally before I found the questions, I just started reading it this morning. And I'm only like 15, 16 pages in. But she talked about the power is truly is love. And the way she's put it so far, I don't even know how I could articulate it, but it made the best way I could is she gave an example. At first, when I read it, I really didn't get it. She was like, the Wright brothers loved the idea of flying, right? Or, like I said, the people that created the telephone loved the idea of us being able to communicate that way. And the best way I could put it is like, if people didn't have that love for all the things I was just saying we are able to be grateful for, it wouldn't exist. And so she's not saying a romantic love, or she's just saying at the root of every creation, it came from love. And at first, when I was usually doing my gratitude practices before I read this morning, I was just grateful. It was making my life so easy, you know, or the easiness. And I was thinking of it selfishly, but when after I read that this one, I was like, that grateful for that person on a deeper level, for being all that they were and had to go through to create everything that's in our lives. And it just made me, I don't know, it shifted me. I'm gonna have to finish it and hopefully I can articulate it better. But it's just, again, changed my perspective on, wow, there's love and there is love in every single thing. And I'm not putting it as well as she put it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna give y'all it's right.
I'm adding it to my list now.
Yeah.
It moved me to be even more grateful for everything that we all are contributing to our planet and our experience.
Your top bucket list item.
Back to being able to leave the office, right? I want to do the professional nomad thing where you can leave and go and travel anywhere you want to. And I want to do it for a year. And still, you know, they say professional nomad because you are still engaging in your business and things like that. But from your favorite places in the world. So that would be New Orleans. I want to live in Mexico for 2 years. And I'm not talking about on a resort. I want to get a little Airbnb down in the village, you know, where the locals are, and take Spanish classes. Excuse me. I haven't figured out where outside of our hemisphere, but I'm thinking London for a month. And I mean long enough time that you feel like not you visited, but you lived there. You at least were immersed, the immersion of these different places and their food and their culture. And I don't want to be there as a tourist. So that's on my list. Once Benefit Boutique get that million on the bottom line and the right people in place, thank you, universe.
Yeah.
Then I am going to have that adventure. I'm going to do it for a year.
I love that. And then a guilty pleasure.
Oh my goodness. Cheesecake.
Yeah.
Cheesecake. I do try to get strawberry or put some fruit on it.
So then you got dairy, and then you've got fruit. So you've got some food groups covered.
Carbs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're set.
Yeah.
I'm not salivating thinking about it. Yeah, cheesecake.
I love me some cheesecake too.
Yeah, during the ice storm, my husband made a cheesecake. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever eaten. I was like, please. The ice storm basically was like we just, baked and cooked and we enjoyed it.
Trying stuff.
It was great. Yes.
It was not good.
Sometimes you need those days.
Oh,
You're just like, I'm going to bake this and I'm going to eat it and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. It's going to be good.
Right.
Until the next.
And let me get clear. Yeah. Cheesecake, not baking it or making it or anything. Eating cheesecake.
It was a process to watch.
Well, see, so we'll make a good team because I love to bake. I don't want it I love to eat it. Don't get me wrong. I love to eat it. I just don't want it in my house to eat it because I'll eat the whole thing. So I'll bake it for you and then you can have it.
Okay.
I love making cheesecake. All right, Daris, thank you so much for doing this today. If somebody wanted to learn more about you, learn more about the Benefit Boutique, where is the best place for them to go?
The Benefit Boutique, www.thebenefitboutique. Or they can find me on LinkedIn. I'm heavy on LinkedIn. You can look me up there. I'm the only Daris Frencha. You could Google Daris Frencha, okay? It's going to all come back to me.
Okay.
If y'all meet or find or come across another person named Daris Frencha, please introduce. But yes, you can look me up on LinkedIn or go straight to the Benefit Boutique. Either way.
Awesome. And that'll be on our notes page over at firsttoarrivelasttoleave.com. Daris, thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate this so much. You're my first real podcast with video. I didn't know. That's why I was all freaking out. And y'all was like, no, being the others. And I was like, y'all have no idea.
See, it was
not first for me off the, and I call it the to live list. Not the bucket.
Ooh, I love that we were a check mark on that list.
Yeah.
Love that. To live list.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right.